Okay. Um. So today we're talking about today's topic is building personas, empathy mapping, and then competitive analysis. So this will help us understand our users and then market strategy as a whole. I have the sole aim of today's topic. Okay. So we've been talking about user research, um, user behavior, right? Problem framings, all of these things. So let's say now you have done your user research. You've been able to understand what your users want, what they don't want, right? So in product management, there's something we call personas, right? There's something we call personas, which is a typical um person that will use that your product. So these typical persons will be how the person behave, how the kind of pain points they would have, the kind of solution they need, because that solution is what you are offering. The pain points is the problems, right, that you are solving, right? Okay, so let's just quickly dive into it. This slide was not created by me, so sorry. Please let me just quickly rush through and see something. What was the first topic here? Okay, let's read it together. In today's competitive market, creating successful products require a deep understanding of your users, right? So the average user merits. So what does this mean? The average user merit is a mistaken belief that designing for an imaginary car users will satisfy most persons. In reality, users have diverse needs, behaviors, and pain points, making it ineffective to build products based on a single or generic persona, right? Just the way I've even gave you idea of the persona, it's just imagine about this person, right? You imagine about the person, a typical person that would use your product. So why do we even have to do this user persona? Why do we have to do the average merit? Because the average user merit basically is we're just imagining a typical user, right, that will use this product. And then this person will now satisfy majority of the people that would use the product. So why is the average merit? So now we said something here. We said the average merit can be misleading. So why is the average merit misleading? One, it could be people are unique, right? So no single user exactly fits the average. Good users varies in skills, in goals, and then in preference, right? And then why this is also misleading is it will ignore the edge cases. So many valuable users may fall outside the assumed average, leading to exclusion. And then there will be hindrance in innovations, which will be focusing on generic users can prevent discovering untapped market needs. And then reduce personalization, which is successful products cater to different user segments, not just a one size fits all approach. Okay, so basically all these things that I read now is just like when people are building products, right? Um they assume that people would use this thing and then it would satisfy everybody. But one thing why this thing is really wrong is because you've not done your research, right? You're just as that's why some people will tell you they have a product and the product is for everybody. When I just hear people, when I ask you who is your target audience and you're telling me everybody, I just know that you have not done your research. Because if you have done your research, you will know that your product is not for everybody. And that is where the whole average user merit fall in. This, I think another word for average user merit is everybody, right? Which is wrong. It can be very misleading. If you say everybody is your target audience, it is not true because people are unique, right? People are unique. People you're going to hinder innovation for some certain group of people, making your product just generic for everybody. So for you not to fall into the category of I am building my product for everybody, that is why we use the alternative approach, which is the user segmentation and then the personas, right? So what this basically means is instead of designing for the average user merits, right? Product managers and UX designers use user segmentations and personas to account for real users diversity. So by understanding your real user diversity, um, you'll be able to come up with different groups, right? Different groups products can be tailored into. So in essence, what we're just saying here is we'll divide a broad customer base into smaller groups, which is now your segments based on shared characters. So this segment will help business better understand their users, tailor product to specific needs, and then improve marketing strategies. So let me give you an example for you to understand about this English that I am saying. So let's say you want to no. Sorry. Okay, sorry, please. Um, so let me give you an instance for what this is all about. So let's say you want to build a let me see a perfect example. Don't break it. Just leave it like that. So let me give you an example. You want to cover it. You want to build an edtech product, right? Let's say a edtech product. Yes. Now, this edtech products, when I mean edtech products, that's educative products, right? This product basically is to help people study and pass for their exams. But I understand that every student wants to study and pass for their exams, but do you know that that product will not be for everybody? It will be for some set of people. So now you will now start to define it. This product now, who are you building it for? Are you building it for the guru? That's the ones that know book very, very, very well, that reading is not even difficult for them, or the ones that they know book but reading can be difficult for them, or the ones that don't even know book at all and reading is difficult for them. Hope you know that there are categories like that, right? So now you see that all the students, they're all students though, but I've been able to break them into three different segments. That is one. I can still decide to further break them into another segment and say, oh, this is my product. Oh, it's for people that do not know book at all that I want to build it for, to help them read and pass their exams. Because if I build it for somebody that they really know book very well, they don't need my product, because with or without my products, they are going to pass their exams. But somebody that don't know book at all but wants to pass can find my products exciting, and then those are the kind of people that I'll be building products for. So those are, if I'm going to build products for those groups of people now, that is where reminders start to come in. Like I'll have features like daily reminders to go study your book. I'll have features like accountability partner on the platform. I'll have features like um maybe pop-up notifications telling about whatever they've read. Like do you maybe things like um reminder, photosynthesis is this that, because I've already come to understand my users that if they read they used to forget easily. So I'm trying every possible thing to help them remember. Maybe every 1 hour, whatever they've read, I'll just be bringing it out one by one. Maybe this formula, now we'll say the formula of quadratic equation is this, just to, like, refresh their memories. So that it's not necessarily they have to read at, let's say, 4 p.m. Before 4 p.m., they're already getting notifications on their phone about what they've read. You could say that because of I have put my users in a segment. Just cover it. I've put them in a segment, right? I am now building products that is tailored to them because I understand them better. I know that this my users, they don't like book. So I have to do everything that will help them study. When with somebody that knows book now I have to start thinking of another strategy for them, because strategy of reminding them to read. They don't even need it because they know that once it's 2 o'clock, they need to read their book. Unlike those people that don't know book and they want to pass their exam, I have to start sending them reminder form early in the morning. I'm like, oh, you have to read by 3 p.m. 1 hour to when they want to read. I'll tell them, are you set? You need to read by 3 p.m. All of these things. Do you get? So you need to be able to define your broad customer base into segments. If you're able to do that, you'll be able to tailor products that is specific to their needs and also improve their marketing strategies. I don't know if you guys get this. React to the thumbs up, please, if you get this. If you get the explanation I just did, just react with an emoji. Only Michael is reacting. Margaret. Only Margaret and Michael is reacting. Okay, and Victor. And what happened to the two others? Mosumola, you did not react. I'm waiting for you. I was waiting for Miriam, but okay. Yes, good. So we can proceed. Please proceed though. Okay, so now we said there are types of user segments, right? Okay, you can see that the example I gave you now, it is based on behavioral segmentation. But you can decide to have all of these segments in your user base too as well. So we have demographic segmentation. So this involves the age, the gender, income, education, occupation, right? For geographic, we can have segmentations like location, climate, urban, rural classification. We can also have behavioral segmentation, which would be in usage pattern, purchase history, brand loyalty, and then physiographic segmentation could be in lifestyle, values, interests, personality trends. We can also have something like technographic segmentation. This will be in preferred devices, software, tech adoption level, and then need-based segmentation. What problems users are trying to solve. So now I've given behavioral segmentation with for that example. Let's say I want to add demographic segmentation to still that small group that I gave example of the students that do know book but they want to pass their exams. So let's say now I am now focused on um this my users now. They will be aged between 30 to 35, right? Now I've gone out of behavioral segmentation now. I'm now going into demographic segmentation, right? I want them to be both male and female. That's okay. I want them to be earning within the range of 100,000 to let's say 300,000, right? I want them to be let's say um people that are doing part-time job or work based on contracts, right? Or we can even say people that are doing full-time job. Okay, that's that. I've done the demographic segmentation. Let's go to technographic. For the technographic segmentation, to suit the same users, I can say I want my users to be people that they are within that 30 to 40, but are tech savvy. Because I know you know that there are people that are within 30 to 40 years that don't even know how to use their phones, right? Hope you know that. Whereas there are some people between that age of 30 to 40 that are very tech savvy, right? They know how to use their phone. So now let's go back to how I want to, if they now ask me, Fumi, you said you are doing you have an edtech product. What is your customer base? Who are the people you are targeting? Who are your customer segments? Now I'm going to tell you that a customer segment are um people within the age of 30 to 40, any 100,000 to 300,000, and what they are working professionals. They are full-time working professionals, and they want to pass their exam, but they do not know book, right? And they are tech savvy. So do you see now that I have, inside all these plenty people, I have been able to pick a particular set of people from a very large customer base of people who wants to pass their exam, but they don't. People who want to pass their exams. Because everybody wants to pass the exam, but there are still smaller groups into it. I don't know if you get my point. And that's why sometimes when you use a product, you'll be like, oh my God, these people are solving my problem to the core. Yes, they are solving your problem because they've been they've been able to segment you into a particular category of people. So because of how they were able to segment you guys into a particular group of people, they are now solving your product. Like their product is now very tailored to your needs. And if their product is very tailored to your needs, it's going to improve their marketing strategy because you keep saying that, oh my God, these people just did this one, these people just did that one. It's not like they just did that one. They've been able to understand the market and then they've been able to carve out a niche for themselves. It's the same thing with Piggyvest. Piggyvest now, it's not everybody that use Piggyvest. Till today, there are some people that don't trust Piggyvest. But Piggyvest do not build it for them. Piggyvest builds the product for people within a certain age group that want to save their money. Like they are having difficulties in saving their money. So they are helping you save. I go and give my mom a Piggyvest. Let me even give you an instance. My mom is using Piggyvest, right? But before I was able to convince my mom to use Piggyvest, hey God, I sweat. Because each time I tell her about it, she'll be like, no, 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 she's not interested. They'll carry her money and run. She does not know them. They are not like the Access Bank. They don't have office. They don't have this. Like my mom was always saying once, at some point I had to stop convincing her. Like, you know what? Go and be doing your adashi, your ajo that you are used to. Go and be doing it. For me, I wanted my mom to do it because I know that it is a model thing. One, Piggyvest will never run with your money too. So it's coming with interest. Ajo, your contribution that you're doing with your fellow friends is not coming with any interest. Instead, they will still pick out of your money. But Piggyvest is still going to come with interest. Right? So I was trying to convince my mom to use it, but I could not do that. After a while, I was able to do it. And then the first month, my mom was able to save because she did not extend it. She only saved for, I think, 2 months. The second month, my mom wanted to get her money. This was what happened. Please, if I'm speaking too fast, let me know. I don't know. I noticed lately I've been speaking too fast and I don't like it. Um, so please, if I'm speaking too fast, just let me know so that I calm down, I beg. So that you get and then we are all flowing together. Um, the second month, my mom wanted to withdraw this money. This was what happened. I think she forgot her password. And then I wrote it down somewhere, but I didn't know where I wrote the whole thing, right? And then, of course, we have to do the whole forget password and everything. Forget password. Um, my mom had already pressed the whole thing, and then now we could not go through the normal route. We have to use emails for them to be sure, because of course Piggyvest also will do this whole security thing that if you input the code more than 3 times, they sort of like block it until you reach out to their customer service. And then because of the process, the next thing my mom started saying is they've stolen our money, they've done this, they've done that. And then I had already reached out to the customer service on her behalf, letting them know that, oh, this is the situation. My mom did this mistake and all of that. And but they're like, if they cannot help me to do that, the mail has to come from my mom. Like my mom has to be the one to reach out to them. My mom kept on saying that they've stolen her money. Oh, she doesn't want to do this thing. But I dragged her into it. Me, I'm already used to waiting for customer service to answer me in 2 days' time. But my mom was not used to it. My mom wanted like an immediate response. So you could see that Piggyvest was not tailored to my mom. It's not like people that are not your customer base cannot use your product. Oh. They can use it. But there's some certain things that they don't have that patience for. And sorry, because you don't have that patience for it does not mean that I will not leave my whole large customer base and then I'm not trying to solve your problem. No, I'm going to respond to you, yes, but there are certain procedures where you have to wait. After like 3 days, my mom was able to get access to her money. When she got access to it, she got an interest of 18,000 naira more. And I told her, you see, if it's your contribution now, they will not give you this money. My mom was like, that one is my business. So, but she does not like this, my contribution, because they almost stole her money. And then I laughed. I said, okay, did you want to try it again? So she's not interested, Joe. After like maybe 1 week, my mom called me and said, I think I want to do that thing that you did that. I was like, hey, you want to do piggy bank? She's like, yes, I want to do it again. And then she saved for 3 months. 3 months, I made sure that I withdrew the money for her. So all those process of waiting and all of those things do not happen. Instantly, within 5 minutes, she got her money. And she was like, this thing is really real. Oh. Like, it's not problematic. And I was like, yeah, I told you it's not problematic. And then after she saved for 3 months, guess who is saving for 1 year on piggy vest? My mom. My mom is saving, like, she started the contribution January, and then of course it's ending December. There's nobody as excited as my mom right now, because our interest has gone up to, I think 100K right now, right? Because she has actually saved, she has been saving for a while now, she saved daily. So her interest up to like 100K. My mom is so excited that she's getting her money in December. She cannot touch the money, all of those things. You can see my mom is using the product, but she's not their target audience. I have to give you people this story so that you really understand that your your user segments, your customer base, people that are not in your segment can still use your product. But because they are using your product, do not mean that you will not be doing things that will meet their specific needs. No, it's not done like that. They can still use it, but you will only continue to tailor your product specific to the needs of your users. Of course, over time, it will start to expand. Like Piggyverse now, over time, they are starting to, expand their segments, right? Now they're not just using it, they're not just giving it to the Gen Z, the millennials alone. Now Gen Zs can now use it, right? So whenever you are building products, please, I beg you, have a segment. Have a segment. Something just even came to my head now for my products. Let me quickly write it. Let me quickly write it down so that I don't forget. Okay. So now we've spoken about segmentation. Now that you've been able to segment your users, this is what happens, right? From your regular customer base, which is everybody, right? Let's say your customer base, we all know the customer base as everybody. So your regular customer base are everybody, which is casual users. So the casual users are the cohort of active users with the lowest engagement. It is everybody. Then your core users, the cohort of active users with medium engagement. And then the power users, this is the cohort of active users with the highest engagement. So let's come back to Piggyverse 2. The casual users, let's say everybody, right? Everybody that wants to save, everybody wants to save. That is the casual users. Everybody wants to save. They go into Piggyverse. But because of everybody wants to save, it's not, some people might just put the money for day one till maybe the 100. They do not save. And then maybe at the 100, they'll just come and remove their money and say, I beg, I cannot come and keep myself, Joe. They'll remove their money. And then there are core users, the cohort of active users with medium engagement, like my mom. My mom fall into this category because if it's not me, if my mom, if the only thing my mom does on her Piggyverse is she does go there to look at her money. She does not even interact with the app. She does not check other features. She does not even know that there's something called Investify on Piggyverse. She does not know all those things. Her own is, let her just put her password, see that money, the price, like her account balance, her current money. That's the thing. And then she's out of the app. So you can see that she does not even do any engagements. She comes on the app, quite all right, yes. She saves money, yes. But other engagements like because the savings is automated, right? Other engagement, like maybe you want to check the investment platform, you want to use the dollar future, you want to even check your flex naira, all of those things. You want to check your accountability partner. My mom does not do all those ones. Compared to me now, I'm going to put myself as the power users. Why? Because of the I do a lot of activities on Piggyverse. I use Target, I use their savings, sometimes I use the Flex Dollar, sometimes I use their Investify Future. So you can see that I use everything they have on the product. I use it. The Flex Naira, I put money there sometimes, my emergency funds, I still use it. Right. So you can see that I am like the power users. So you need to be able to wait, and the only reason why you'll be able to know your power users is if you are able to segment your users properly. Um, so yeah, how do we truly know what users want? This is a topic on its own, right? Product teams must rely on structured framework like user user personas, empathy mapping, and competitive analysis to bridge the gap between business goals and customer needs. So, if you want to truly know what your users want, this is where you need to do your user personas. So, your user personas is something that will help you define your ideal customer based on data and research. Based on data and research, not based on your opinion, not based on I think these people will use it. No, it is based on your data and research. Another way you will truly know what your users want is through empathy mapping. So empathy mapping it, you are going to provide insight into users' thoughts, emotions, and behavior. And then because of how you have provide insight into their thoughts, emotions, and behavior, you will now be able to design, you'll be able to design a user-centered product. That is why when Piggyverse send you things like um no use all your money chop shawarma finish oh, you need to save for the rainy days. It is funny, but we can relate to it, right? Because these are things that goes in our emotions. These are products that um we can relate to, because honestly, we are really like, especially my age group, we're really in the age of let's save or let's have fun, right? So Piggyverse is always sending notifications of don't use all your money to have fun. So now, in as much as the society is saying have fun, have fun, have fun, at least I have something that is telling me don't have fun too much or finish all your money. So now they've understand my thoughts. They've Why they are giving me that notification is because of they know the thoughts, they know how my age group are behaving, they know the kind of emotions that we are feeling, and that is why they are sending us that kind of notifications, and that is why we can relate to it. They send the notifications to my mom, yes, because of she's using the product. Sometimes some people will not even send, if so I don't know, but let's assume they send the notifications to my mom. My mom will not be able to relate to it. If even if they send it to her, my mom will be looking at it like, like, what is this? She will not be able to relate. But because she does not use her money to go and buy shawarma. She cannot buy shawarma Monday to Friday. My mom cannot use her money to do that. All right. But there's even a way that they can even tell all the itself. The notification that I will get, my age group will get, will be different from the notification that another age group will get. Let's say the notification for age group of 20 to 50, 20 to 25. The kind of notification they get can be different from the notification that 26 to 30 is going to get. It's something we can do. It's something that is very possible in the back end, right? But what I'm just saying here is you truly know what your users want when you do empathy mapping, right? Another thing is competitive analysis. So when you do competitive analysis, it will help you understand the strength and weakness of your competitor, right? You know what your competitors are doing. Now that you know what your competitors are doing, then you will not be able to position your product effectively such that your product is different from your competitors' products. See Pepsi and Coca-Cola. They're doing similar things, but they are very different, and they position themselves properly in the markets, right? I don't know what is their value proposition, but me and you know what make Coca-Cola and Pepsi different. Me and you know. And then because of that, some people will tell you, no matter how you advertise Coke to them, they don't want Coke, they prefer Pepsi. Likewise, some people tell you they prefer Coke than Pepsi, right? So now let's have a discussion, right? Which is, can you think of a product that failed because it did not understand its users well? Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Oh yeah, it is your turn now to talk. Let's talk. Can you think of a product that failed because it did not understand its users well? Let me see. I'm thinking, oh, you to think. If your answer come before mine, that's fine. But I'm not even supposed to answer this. It's supposed to come from you. I just thought of one product. Well, let me get from you guys first. Yeah, oh, people don't want to talk, or you don't have an answer. Abi, you're not hearing me.
We can hear you.
Okay. Ah, Victor, I thought you want to give me answer. Okay. Let me
Okay.
let me. Okay, you want to
Um.
talk? Okay.
So I'm not sure if it falls under the fact that they did not yes, maybe they did not understand their user. So I can remember when I was much younger, there was to go. I'm sure to go, the social media or something. But then all of a sudden it was nowhere to be found. Maybe WhatsApp had taken over. So I feel like because we are even actually because we are discussing it now, I just had to think and think back. I feel like what actually happened was because they did not maybe they did not they were not following up on their users. So when to go was around, it was mostly on the smaller phones, the button phones and the rest. But then when we started having the Android devices, they didn't move, or maybe they didn't move very fast. So they were not following up closely with their users. Most of their users had moved on to these devices, but they were still stuck on providing services for the Java phones and the other smaller phones. So like that's like what's one of the reasons why the faded, yeah, something like that.
Okay. Okay, Michael, go ahead. I'm sorry, before you go ahead, let me just quickly say something about what Victor just said. Another thing that made to go fade away was they were not innovative, right? People were transitioning, right? Because I know I was using one Techno M3 or something, one short Android phone like that. I still had to go on that my Android phone. I was still doing to go there, but they were not transitioning, like they were not um they were not iterating on their products. Why I would say they were not iterating on their products was, I think the likes of WhatsApp was already doing some certain things. We could not make calls on to go, right? There was nothing like audio call. Correct me if I'm wrong, Victor. It was
No, no,
basically
no, no.
it was basically chatting, yes.
Text, yes.
WhatsApp came in, WhatsApp copied the entire thing that to go was doing, which was chatting. But this was what WhatsApp did. WhatsApp now introduced call, right? So imagine it to go was doing their whole chatting thing, and then they now introduced the call too. I feel and they were still like iterating on other things, I feel they will still be relevant in today's market. But they were just focused on only chatting, and then the world was really going, like a lot of innovations was coming up. Like we could now call our friends from US, UK, and we're doing all of that from WhatsApp, right? And we were not able to do that on to go. What do you expect? Of course, people are going to leave your product, right? So they were not iterating. I feel they were not asking users questions on, oh, what are the things you want, or maybe they were even asking users and then users were telling them what to do and then they were not doing it. So yeah, I agree with you. To go just, they did not really understand us well. Innovation was coming and then they were not ready to adapt to it. Okay, Michael, let's go.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi.
My name is Michael. My name is
Okay,
Michael.
why do you like to tell us your
And
name? Sorry, I just need to get that thought process. Why do you like
so
to say
that
your name?
it's so that it seems to one or two persons, it's called branding, I guess. Mhm. So unconsciously, you know my name because I always introduce myself.
Okay, I just learned something today. Interesting. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, man. So one product I would want to mention is BlackBerry. It's not a digital product, but it's a device. So I think why the feel that is unlike the iPhone, they don't have a value proposition. What do I mean? Their messaging is not clear to the users. Users like iPhone now, they are communicating technology as which is where the world is evolving. They are communicating innovation. They are communicating prestige and what's the word? Luxury. So they are communicating their product as regards to what the user wants to feel or how they want people to perceive them. So I think that was the word BlackBerry used. So at some point, we stopped, the people stopped hearing them. And then I don't know why they stopped, but I think if they had sat down to study their competitors, like an Apple, they would understand more on what to do and then move on with the trend and keep on everything and thank you. Hello, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me, please?
I, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead, Victor. Your hand is raised.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say something on what Mike has said. Yeah, it still boils down to, but I think one thing about the BlackBerry, about why they went extinct was, I once saw the Steve Jobs, the launch of Apple and iOS. When they came, you know, during his talk, he there was this thing BlackBerry did. It still boils down to the fact that they were not innovating. So the BlackBerry, in the when BlackBerry was around, they had this luxury, like it came with this luxury and prestige. I mean, almost everybody in this country, I believe, I'm not okay. A lot of people were using BlackBerry. It was just as it is with iPhone now. That was how it was back then. But one thing they did not do, or like you mentioned with To Go, they were not innovating. So they always had this button on, And that was one of the things Steve Jobs um used for his speech. He said something about something like, when you need them, they are there. When you don't need them, they are also there. Imagine someone wants to watch a movie. You actually don't need the buttons on your screen to see a movie. The only time where you get to use those buttons is when maybe you want to send a text or you want to call someone. That's when, and that was what Apple came with, the screen and having to pull up the button only when you need them. So that was, I feel like, and they did not want to, they had this thing in their head, their scroll bar, the smooth scroll bar they had then. That was like their biggest selling point, and they were trying so hard to not lose that. Felt like that was what made them go out of the market, as they were not innovating as we have as we have said here. So yes, that just to add to what Michael said.
Yeah, that's very true. Even Nokia, right? Even Nokia too. Nokia is releasing Android phones today, but we are not
Yeah,
using it. We are not using it because when they were supposed to bring it out, that period when iPhone was coming out, I think that's like the fastest point. They were supposed to also bring out their own, but they did not bring it out immediately. It was after we have now transitioned into iPhones and the likes. They're now seeing that, hey, this thing is really selling market though. They now want to start. They now start bringing their own. But that's one thing with users. You don't expect users to be loyal to you 100. We had already moved. You're not expecting us to come back. It's not possible, right? So I think Nokia actually had um the same thing. So what challenge do team face when trying to understand their users? I think Michael is already building something, right? And then there's another person that is also doing something. I don't know. I've forgotten his name, but if I see his picture, I will know him. Let me see. He's not here. But Michael is already building something, right? So let's hear from you, Michael. What challenge do you face in this process where you're trying to understand your users that you are building something for? I mean, you're not facing any challenge. You people are perfect. Because even me, like this, my team is still facing challenge. So tell me, while we wait for Michael, if anybody have an answer to the challenge their you think team will face when trying to understand users, please feel free to also share, right? Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Michael. So for the first ones, what challenges?
Can I hear you?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, can I hear you?
Okay.
Can I hear you?
So for the first one, what challenges you see face when trying to understand your users? One of the challenges is based on demography. For example, I will be talking based on my sorry, hold on. And for me has already exposed me that I'm working on the project. So based on my own the tasks that I face challenges is number one, demography. So we have this product that we are trying to and then we are targeting Lagos. Like we are going to launch first in Lagos. But during the research, in the surveys and then the interviews, we do not cover every year, right? Like not particularly, at least some key things in Lagos. But based on I was the one that did it. It was more, especially in interview, it was more centered on my own demography. So that's what we would be working on. I feel like that's the challenge that the most teams would face when understanding users. And two, some users, I don't know, some of them they don't understand English. It's not like English literally, but they don't comprehend questions at times. We tend to want to start explaining. At the end of the day, this there's this principle or law in UX that advises us to avoid bias, leading our users or our people that we are interviewing. So in situations like this, you have to tend to explain the question again in a more simpler form to the point that you are literally, exposing everything to them and all. So that's another challenge because at the end of the day, you are giving them the answers, right? You are giving them the answers you want them to answer, which indirectly. That's another challenge I personally face when trying to understand that. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? For me, I would say the challenge that my team is currently facing is we're trying to introduce a new model to the market, right? This is something that um people already know an existing product to be like this, right? So what my team is currently um the problem my team is currently facing to understand our users is each time we tell our users that people will have research and tell them that oh, this is what we're trying to do, they're always referring us back to what they already know. Like we will now have to, like Michael said, we'll have to, even when we even explain to them that what our product is doing is different from what this product is doing, they will still always refer us back to it. So one thing we've come to understand as a product is we have to do the mindset shift, right? Which is what we're currently working on, mindset shift. So our messagings on the app, everywhere, we're trying to make them understand that our product from the beginning, when you're entering our product, we're telling them that our product is not what you already know. It's a guy different. So they're seeing it everywhere that this thing it is different. Do you understand? Anybody else? I think I'm beginning to enjoy this class because I'm also getting a lot of ideas. Okay, go ahead, please.
So another challenge, I think I've said it, but I just want to like give an instance. So there was a particular time someone reached out to me that he wants to build an app that where what's it called mental service app, where mental companion app, where people can come seek for therapists and all of that blah 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 stuff. So the thing is, our target audience are people in the diaspora, which is Africans outside the country, where people that are lonely basically. So Nigeria and a whole, if you sell that kind of products here, you are most likely not going to make profits. They will just meeting this. So I mean no get brain and I mean get mental problem. You see this kind of a thing. So the issue or the challenge is when it got to the point of maybe I just thank God I scaled it, but I was because I was very confused when we got to a point of where we would have to like validate the idea that okay, this idea is actually what's the resources that we pouring into it. I had issues in terms of reaching our target audience. Why? Because our target audience are people in that area. And me, I don't know any, I really do not know anybody outside the country. And it was very difficult to reach out to 10 people that would do the survey, just survey, not even interview survey. So that's one of the challenges that I'm facing.
Interesting. So based on this challenge that your team is currently facing, right? You need to come up with solutions, better solutions that you'll be able to use to understand um your users. Thank God for ChatGPT. There are some things that I say ChatGPT about it. Like you're not telling ChatGPT to give you the answer. It's acting as your brainstorming body, right? Give him context. Don't just tell him that, oh, my team is currently facing this challenge. I'm trying to understand the users. No, give ChatGPT context. This is the product we're trying to solve. If you know that there's an existing knowledge that people have, put it there. But this is not what we are trying to do. This is our value proposition. This is our age group. This is what we're trying to solve. Like, give ChatGPT all of this context. How can we understand our users? ChatGPT now will give you a tailored response. Do you get? Because the aim is whatever challenge your team is facing, you need to come up with possible solutions for it as well. So now we said, if we want to truly understand our users, we will do user persona, empathy mapping, as well as competitive analysis. So let's look at user personas, right? So this is how a user persona diagram looks like. It involves the the personal information of the person, the personal preference. This is very, very detailed though. The daily interests, right? Basically, what a user persona is just a pictorial view of your customer audience. So what exactly is even this user persona? I said it's a fictional but data-driven representation of your ideal or typical customers. So your user persona is built from your user research, interview, as well as behavioral data. So it is not coming from assumptions, right? And your user persona would help your team, right? It will help your team design and then prioritize features for real people, not just vague users, right? So your solid user persona must have demographic, it must have behavioral traits, it must have goals and motivation, it must have pain points, it must have context of use, it must have quotes or attitude. Any of these things, your user personas must definitely have them. Okay, so like this is an image of what a user persona is, something like this. It does not necessarily have to be this, but just make sure that your user persona have some certain components. Okay, here's even a quick definition of another definition of user persona. We said it's a semi-fictional representation of your ideal customer based on real data and research. It is based on real data and research. So if you've not done your user research and they are coming up with a user persona, I will not even take you serious, because I know that you just assume things, right? You just assume things, and it should not be assumed. It should come from a real research or data. Okay, so there are some certain key components of a user persona, which is basic information like their name, the age, the job title, the locations, the demographic, which is the age, the gender, the educational level, income brackets, physiographic, which is the interest value, lifestyle choice. Another thing will be goals and motivations. What drives the user's behavior? You need to also know that. And then we have pain points such as challenge or frustrations of that the user face, right? They'll have behavioral traits such as how they interact with technology and product, and then preferred platform, social media, mobile, desktop, and purchasing habits. If you could remember when I was giving you about my segments for the EdTech products, I sort of like still picked out of all of this, because I gave an age bracket, he gave an income bracket to it, right? So now let's say I didn't add like the behavioral traits or pain points or basic information. I think we even have an example there. So let me not even try to start giving that example. Right. But all of these things, you need to have it. I think the key, the most important things, your user, my instead if I was right pain points, one thing I cannot miss are the name, their age group, right? Their locations. And then for their behavioral traits, I always put their behavioral traits to it. I also put their pain points and then their needs. Like these are things that I don't even miss when I'm writing my user persona. And the crazy thing about my behavioral traits is their preferred platform is under my behavioral traits. Um, their their interest, their value, their lifestyle choice is inside my behavioral traits too as well. So why do we even need these user personas in the first place? Number one, we want to enhance our product design, ensure future aligns with user needs, right? We want to also improve our marketing strategies. If we are able to have a pictorial persona, it will enable us target our messaging and campaign. I think I've really spoke a lot about this in when I was giving the PVest example, right? Because if you really understand your users, you've segmented them, whatever messaging you are giving, it's targeted to your users, your preferred users, then it's going to aid in decision making. It's going to help you prioritize product and improvement. So imagine somebody coming to say, your developer is coming to say, let's say you are building an edtech app, and then the developer is saying, let's put music in our in our in our products, in our edtech products. Mind you, we already segment the users as people that want to pass exam but do not really know book, or let's say do not even know book, right? So now imagine putting music there. It is very useless. It is pointless because they will not use it. But if it is for somebody that actually like is very brilliant, some people read with music, so it will not be a problem to them. So once you are able to define your user persona, like me now, if I define this thing properly, I will be able to know that this your music future is a no-go area for my personas, right? And then another important reasons for user personas, it promotes empathy, encourage team to think from the user's perspective. Yes, because now I start to think that this is somebody that is struggling to learn but wants to pass exam. Now putting a music future there, it will not make sense. So now, because of I've been able to craft out a user persona, I am thinking from my user perspective that this person does not want distraction. These are people that even children noise alone self can distract them and then they can forget what they've read. Now putting music while they are reading doesn't make any sense, right? So I'm going to be thinking from my user's perspective. So user personas are very, very, very important. There's no way you'll be writing your PRD, that's your product requirements document, that a user persona will be missing. If your user persona is missing from your PRD, I'm sorry, your PRD is not complete. PRD is product requirement document. Sure, we'll really talk about how to write a PRD because all these things I am teaching are what will fall out. All these things I'm actually teaching are the things that will go into your PRD. That's why I keep saying learn, write these things as we are doing this program. Because if you don't do your capstone project, it's going to be very difficult for you. I kid you not. I know I am talking, I'm not coding like developers, and you think it is simple, but it is not. Because when you get to that point where you want to do your capstone project, then you start to understand why all these things are very important. If I were some of you, I would have started doing my user research. After user research, I've come up with decision. Now we're talking about persona. Based on my user research, I'll start doing personas. That's the only way it can help you when it gets to capstone project time. So this is how I told you the pictorial, semi-fictional presentation, right? So it can be pictorial. It's best to do it pictorial instead of in a picture format instead of text, because at a glance I can quickly read all these things compared to text. So let's read about Anisha Williams. So she's 28 years old. You could see her work. She's an interior designer. She's a single person. She lives in New York. She's menstrual, right? And then This is her biography. So Alicia is a blossoming interior designer who seeks to translate her passion for designs into every space she works on. She approaches each project as a puzzle and believes her job is to create the piece that blends beauty, functions, and passion. Yes, the contract is too strong. Oh, what's that? Oh, you're thinking from a design perspective. Is it that know that one? No, we somebody that is not a designer will not know that the contract is too strong. Okay. Where did I stop? Reflecting on the best possible look for the budget, ways of life, and specifics of the location. She has been practicing interior design since 2008 and has a master of interior architecture from New York University. Okay. Let me quickly show you guys something. We said that for your demographic, right, your behavioral traits, it's going to have how they interact with technology and products. Where is the slide? Okay, the next one. So you can see now that Alicia here, she's the kind of person. Basically, we're just talking about Alicia, what she enjoys about her products, how she does her thing, what she has in, all of these things. These things, it's not like you know it about your users. Oh, because of your user research, you would have understand some certain things about your users, and then you will not be able to craft out stories from it. So let me still go back to that, my example of users that want to pass exam but do not know book. Now I've been able to define some certain things like their age group, their kind of work and everything. Do you know I can come up with a story like Wale is a 9 to 5 worker that goes to work Monday to Friday. He I can say Wale loves to hang out with his friends during the weekends, and then because okay, we say Monday to Friday he goes to work, right? And then during weekends he likes to hang out. If he's not hanging out, he's watching Netflix, movies on Netflix. We can also say I can go further to also give you stories like Wale is preparing for his ICANN exam, but it's finding it. No, I don't want to put the pain points there. Because just Wale is preparing for his ICANN exam because he wants a promotion in the office or something. You can see now that all these stories, I'm just coming up with it. Oh. Okay. Now, for each, now I have to come up with the goals and frustration for Wale. But let's first do with Alicia before we come up with Wale's own. So Alicia's motivations here are designer products, eco-friendly, personalization, low price, convenience, and then socials. Her personalities from she's more of an extroverted person, she's more creative, she's in between loyal and fickle, she's very passive, active and not passive, right? She's ambitious, she's focused, she's free spirited. This is a whole lot, actually. These are the kind of socials she used: brands, Pinterest, Estes, CB2, House. These are kind of social media that she used. And then her goals are she wants to grow a strong industry reputation. She wants to build relationship with long-term clients. She wants to get more leads and grow her brand. And then her frustrations are getting poor results for marketing efforts, competing with more established designers, and then keeping in touch with clients and what did you open? Which one? Sorry, please. Keeping in touch with clients and prospects. Right. So now let's use Wale as the continuous example. So we've already understand that Wale wants to write an ICANN exam. It is an edtech product, of course. He wants to pass his exam, but it does not notebook, right? So Wale's goal now is to be able to pass for his exam. He's going to be able to remember all that he have studied effectively. And then frustrations will be because of his he does not have time to read because of work, right? Another frustration for Wale could be that's let's just put it in a sentence, could be not enough time to read. So we can say he procrastinates on his reading schedules. Another pain point, frustrations for Wale could be he tend not to understand the calculations, right? Those are another frustrations, right? And then Wale's motivations, of course, will fall under for the edtech product. We could have something like he likes personalization, like he wants whatever that you are giving him to read to be broken down step by step. That's like step by step based on how he wants to study. You can also say Wale wants to pass the exam, but Wale does not want to spend too much money. So it will fall under low pricings, right? And then we can say his preferred channel. So Wale likes to watch he likes Twitter, Instagram, right? Those are his preferred channels. So you can see now that I've been able to define this thing. I'm not going to go and be doing my advert on TikTok because that is not where my target audience are based on their age group self. You understand? Because there's some set of people that based on their age group, they like TikTok more than Instagram. It's not like we will not do adverts there, but based on our age group and target audience, our ads will be focused more on let's say Twitter or LinkedIn. So this is another example. This is Jane Doe, right? So we said she's a UI UX designer, which is a bio. Bio can be about, right? We said she's a she's a UX designer that works for a Fortune 500 company in Atlanta. Ever since she was a child, she loved to, you can see the storyline. Ever since she was a child, she loved to make stuffs on her own and show them to her parents, friends, and classmates. Over the course of her childhood and throughout her school, she won numerous design prizes at various well-known competitions across the United States and Canada. Due to her passion to design, she decided to pursue a master's degree in human-computer interaction and learn more about user experience and how she can become a better designer. So all this story now is not like the product manager knows them. She's writing, the product manager is coming up with this story so that when your team read it, they start to get deeper context of what needs to be built on that product and what should not be built on the products. So now her goals and pain points are needs. These are things now that it is from the research you actually draw these informations from. These ones now are not assumptions. So let's say majority of your user research now, they are saying that so okay, let's do something. She said her goals is to become a designer who communicates well of her ideas at any place. Oh my god. Wow. Easily explain her design ideas to other designers, researchers, and engineers. That's her goal, right? Okay. You said this thing, the needs and the pain points. You actually get these things from research. And how do you get them from research? The highest numbers of needs that people want, you categorize them. So let's say in your research now, 70% are saying they are looking for a design tool that help to cut down unnecessary time and effort. And then let's say 65% are also saying receive feedback on their progress whenever needed before presentation. Now it is there but user personas are usually one. So you would just you would those plenty people now, you would now represent them with just one person. Mind you, your user personas can be more than, it should be even be more than one, sometimes two or three, right? And then the pain points too from your user research, you will now categorize it. Once it is categorized, then it falls under this. These are the pain points from these pain points. Now it's not like it is assumed, it is gotten from the research. So pain points are, there are too many tools that forces her to spend time learning them, right? Cannot rely on other people's opinion because they are highly subjective, and then certain situation require different tools to communicate her thought. Like I said, it is from plenty people. We just categorize this thing into three. I'm sorry, I'm coming. We just categorize this thing into these things. Somebody got my attention. Okay, the contrast was too strong. Okay, Michael.
Okay, man. Thank you for your attention. Sorry to cut you short, but I have two questions. So my question is because I'm becoming like a bit confused, or I just need clarity basically. My question, the first question is, I'm into product design, UI, UX, and all. Why I prefer calling it product design because it gives me the mindset of me working on a product, not just design. So I like calling it product design. So when working on a product, we practically do these things like from user research to empathy mapping, um, what's it called, persona, affinity mapping, and all. So coming to this particular career now, this product management, and I'm still hearing these things. And a product manager and a product designer also work together. So in the situation where in a situation where you have a product manager and a product designer that has like something similar to do when it comes to their role or their job, how are we going to manage? How are we going to manage the situation? Is it the product manager that does the user research, the empathy, and just gives out the insights and everything to the product manager or the product designer? Or the after the product manager have done his own, the product designer will still do their own. You understand? So that's the first question. The second question is for empathy map, you advise us to do about 2 to 3. But my question now is if you are building a product, I think practically almost every product has two or more different user segmentation. What do I mean? Let's say, for example,
Sorry,
you are
Michael.
building a food
Sorry,
delivery.
sorry. I've not spoken about empathy mapping.
No empathy, sorry,
Okay.
empathy.
Okay.
Persona. So, for example, yeah, I was citing an instance with food delivery platform. Here, you have the customers or the consumers, right? You have the vendors, people that they'll be buying from, and you have the riders. In this situation, which what is the ideal amount of personas we can do to actually quantify that okay, this will give us a holistic view of our let me use the word potential users. I
8.
need to do 1, 3, 8
I said 8, yes.
users.
5 to 8. Yeah, 5 to 8. Why did I say that? You have 3 different people on there you're targeting: the buyer, the vendor, the rider. Right? If I get it correctly. Am I correct?
Yes,
Persona.
ma'am, you're correct. 3 of them.
You need to get a
Three
persona
of
from
them.
the rider's perspective. That is one. And your rider, all of them cannot be one people, right? Your rider cannot be one people. They can fall into 1 to 2 categories or 3 if possible. Your vendors, they are not one people. One vendor can be the type of vendor that they answer immediately. Another vendor could fall into the category of they have the product but they don't answer immediately. Those are segment of users. You need to be able to craft personas for them. And then if you're even crafting personas, what are the type of vendor you want? Is it the one that answer immediately and have the product? Or the ones that have the product but don't answer immediately but will still deliver the product? And then same as your customers, you need to be able to craft your customer base. Your customer base are they the people that will go to work and then it's only in the evening they will come back and then you will deliver the product to them. Only when they come back because they're at work. They cannot come and be collecting your package when they're at work. Or the kind of customers that they are at home 247 and ready to collect package anytime you send it to them. So all these things, you need to think through them because once you are able to have these personas, if you give it to your designer to design, he's not going to be designing because of I like designing. He will be designing with empathy because he's thinking about the user. He's putting himself in the user's shoes. Right? Because I suggest 5 to 8. So you don't have all your users will not fall on that. Your vendors will not fall into one category. When you're even doing your research, you start to see that you have some set of people. When you ask them, what category are you? If they tell you, if you're having like maybe your options are 4, and then one set are 70%, the other set are 60%, and say the next set are 55%. That's like 3 different segments on its own, 3 categories on its own. Mind you, these 3 categories, the answer might not be the same. Some people, their answer will be the same, but their categories are different. So because of their categories are different, they have to have their own kind of personas. That's why I suggest 5 to 8, actually. Your first question was, I will have even just answer that question for you. All the first question, sorry. Michael Oyekachi. Now your name is stick to my brain. It worked. Whatever branding strategy you are doing, it really worked. Oh yeah, what is your first question? I forgot to sorry.
I'm even trying to.
Away. So
okay. The first question is about product
okay, and
managers and
designers.
product designers.
Okay. Okay, I remembered. Let me tell you the best way to do this work, right? Is the best way product managers can do this thing is while they are working on their research, get designers involved. Not even just designer, get your teams involved. Don't do things blindly. Because I did UI UX design courses too, and then I'm familiar with all these things. These are things that they teach in UI UX design classes too. Right? But to save time, both of you can do it together. When you do it together, you as a designer, you don't have to go and be doing another research again because a knowledgeable designer would want to pass through all of this process, do your design, affinity mapping, all of those things. A knowledgeable designers want to do it, but the ones that like shortcuts, they want to skip this process and just want to fall into designing. So to save time, let's put the knowledgeable designer to save time and not to delay the work process. That's why it's very important to work with your product manager. Get them involved. Okay, this user research, what are we doing? People have done user research. When you're doing the personas, both of you brainstorm this thing together. Do you get? So it's very important you work together. You can go ahead and speak. You work together instead of just doing things on your own.
Okay, man. I totally understand. Thank you very much for that. So another question now is, what if you don't you've not start for the products, you've not started hiring developers, you are just on the ideation phase. How are you going to now do do the whole thing? Let me say, for example, you're working on the products. You and it's just you and the product owner for now. And then basically and again, at what point will you now hire the developers, which is the designers and then the software?
At what point do we hire who? I didn't hear that part.
So the question is a situation where you is just the product manager and the product owner, right? You not start hiring the whole team, which is the product designer and the software developers. How are you going to now do that communication according to what you been explained to us? And also, how are you going to, at what point in the product cycle are you going to call and bring on board these people, which is the product designers and then the software developers?
Hmm. I understand that it's just you and your product owner because people are trying to save costs, right? But one thing that I like to say, in as much as you're trying to save costs, there's a repercussion to this thing. So that's the honest truth. Because whatever ideas you and your product owner is thinking, if people are not technical, you're not thinking from the technical perspective. There's some ideas that you will think through. If you have a developer on your team, the developer can tell you that no, let's not do it like this. Because this one, this plan, this route that people are going, we're going to spend 3 months. He's now going to suggest, let's use this one because in 2 weeks, in 1 week, we can get it done. Do you get? So I understand that people are saving money, but the repercussion is actually in front because there's some ideas that you would have think through. You would have even gone far as getting designers to um designing the high fidelity for you and everything, and then you now say, okay, you are doing it batch by batch. You've hired the designer. Now you want to now hire a developer. When your developer now comes, he now see what the designer has designed. He's now telling you that no, this thing is not scalable. This one is not possible. This is not. What's going to happen to you as a team? You need to go and start all over again. Or if you want to bear the losses of proceeding and then users will be having problem with the products. So what I advise is this. You don't need to employ these developers and designers full time. There's something called contracts or part time. You let them know that this product we're trying to build, we're still at our ideation phase. But we need your input. You're not building now for us. So when we are done with ideation, we will call you in to come and build. But we will need your input in some certain ideas. So when you are doing your meeting with your product owner, maybe once in a week or 2 times in a week, based on whatever the contract you and your developer has done. Now it's going to be like a part-time job thing where you don't pay in full. Maybe you just decide to pay, maybe I don't know, depend, maybe 50K in a month or something. 50K developer will not even collect 50K from you. But let's say you decide to pay maybe like 200K in a month or something as a start. And if you come in fully, then we're paying you higher than that. But it's very important to always get the feedback of input of your designers and your developer. You are even a designer, so you're doing designer and product manager job together, right? So that's my suggestion. Get a developer on part-time job. The person is not coming to build. You just let the person know that we need your feedback to be sure that whatever idea we are doing or we are having, it is feasible, right? Yeah. Was I able to answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay. So this is another user personas, right? this one has plenty decoration, but please, it's the same thing as whatever we have. But please, you can make it very aesthetic like this if you want to, but make sure that the important informations are in your user persona's picture. Please and please. This is very, very aesthetic. The time you will use to be designing all these ones, you'll have gone ahead to do something else. But yeah, this is another form of another way you can represent your user personas. If it's less for me, I'm going to go for something like this because I don't have time to be designing. My own is to put the necessary information there. Okay. So I gave an assignment in my previous class for user research. You see how this thing is continuously happening now. So now the assignment is you're going to based on fictional products. I don't want fictional because you've already done a research, right? So based on that research, you're going to create 3 user personas for the product you have decided to pick, right? You're going to the product you picked to work on the research, right? You're going to come up with 3 personas for them. I'm sure in your research there are segment of people. Are you a student? Are you an employer? Are you unemployed? Okay, let me be fair. Let's do two. Let's do two. All right. So some certain people will pick students, some certain people employee. So these are categories of segment of people, right? That is one segment of people. I'm not saying that is all the segments. That's one segment of people. So yeah, you're going to create personas for the products. Do you understand this assignment? Okay. My laptop battery is actually down. I said it from the beginning that my battery is down. Oof. From the look of things, we will just have to move our class to the week again. I am very, very, very sorry. I thought I plugged this laptop. My battery is to last. I thought I plugged it, but unfortunately, I just plugged it and then I didn't check it was charging. So my battery is low. I thought this classroom things has been settled already. Good evening, Margaret. Victor, when do you submit your assignment?
All right, so it has not been settled. Although the last assignment we're supposed to submit next week at 9th. But then I asked the Live Africa team. They said for product management, they are here to settle it. Yes.
Okay, I'm reaching out to them right away. Where are they submitting their assignment? So I'm trying to reach out to the team right now for collection. I'm sure they'll get back.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's
Okay.
supposed to be a Google Classroom thing where you submit your assignment on Google Classroom. That was what the last cohort did. I don't know why this has not been set up for your cohort yet.
Well, some tracks already have theirs. I know design
I
already
think
have
it has been there was one time they sent an email. I don't know if it was not everybody that got it, but they sent an email pertaining to the assignment that was given to us. One, I think, sometime last week, and we had to submit it on that Google Classroom. So I don't know, maybe it's not everybody that saw the email.
Okay. I think it's not everybody that got it because for Victor to speak like this, that means I don't think he has gotten it. Victor, have you gotten any information from Google Classroom?
No. I only know that for design already have theirs, front end already have theirs. So normally when they send out these things, they update the class rep. There's a class rep group actually. So, and I asked the question, and he said, "We'll get ours in due time."
Oh, okay.
So let me just confirm. Michael, when did you get the mail again?
I want to. I don't know the exact date, but aside from most of that, in giving me, so I just checked my browser now. And then I saw that it's actually let me see class. Sorry, hold on. So it's I'm actually seeing it now. Right. The Dive Africa Products Management assignment. But I can't access it because of network. So what I'll do is I'll confirm it and then send it to this platform or to your DM and out.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Any question? I'm trying to send the slide to Victor. Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question?
I sorry. I have questions pertaining to anterior flag or to make more research.
I can barely hear you. I can barely hear you if you are speaking. I can barely hear you if you are speaking. Please and please, if you know you send me a message on WhatsApp and I have not responded to you, please send me a reminder. Like send me a message like, oh, for me, you've not responded. This is my message. I'm still waiting for your feedback. I beg you. That's the only best way I can help you too. Because a whole lot is on my table, but in as much as there is a whole lot, I still need to, provide answers to you guys. So please and please just remind me to, once you remind me a lot, there's no way I will not answer you. Beatrice, please go ahead. Go ahead if you want to speak. Go ahead. Ah, I thought somebody wanted to talk. Victor, attendance. Michael.
Okay. My question or perhaps clarification pertaining to user journey. So we established that when we are doing our persona, the user persona and any other stuff like what's it called, empathy mapping, we should do it with respect to the the research insight that was gotten, the user research insight that was gotten. So my question is, are we still going to do that with the user journey? And for the user journey too, are we also going to do it with respect to user research insights?
User journey. Yes, because you cannot as no. Wait, your user journey. Are you asking if your user journey can be done in respect to your user research? Is that your question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please. Because of course, when you've done your user research, you've already gotten insight about your target audience. So because of you've gotten insight about your target audience, whatever you are asking in your user journey, it is very tailored to your user research. It's based on your audience. You start to ask questions like, if this person did not get this item, what happens? Then you provide possible solution like that, like that.
So to the questions now, because like the example you said, if this person is unable to get so far, so are they more of fictional? Are they more of fictional? Because at the end of the day, we cannot have access to their present challenges when they are probably, let's say, for example,
No, of course, you would know their
using
current challenge. Okay, one
no,
thing again
like
about
what I'm
that
saying.
journey is it does not necessarily have to be um how would I say it? I think the best thing about user journey is when you have built the product. Do you understand? Because if you have been able if you are able to build your products, then you can really come up with a user journey is basically how a customer will interact with your products now, right? So when you have built the product, you know where and where your users are going to. So in the situation whereby they want to pay for something and then or they want to purchase a remember the example I used where I said she wants to buy a clothes, right? And then she's not seeing her size. That's a negative pain point. So what do you have to do for her to for your user to be able to see their size? You could incorporate something like search and then filter by size, right? So that the user does not have to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling while looking for their specific size. So I think user journey really works well when you have built the product. Maybe when there's a high fidelity, not necessarily when developers does this thing, has what's it called? Develop it well. For me, when you have your prototypes ready already, you can start to think about user journey. My laptop is gonna go off in any moment from now. Michael, please confirm if you can hear me or let me answer your question ASAP.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. I understand. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Victor, you did not drop the attendance. Please drop the attendance on the group chat. On the I say group chat on the chat box.